Jumping.
All right, we are live. Oh my goodness, another Tuesday night, Relationship Tuesday. Are you ready? This is Relationship Tuesday. So excited as usual, right? Thank you guys for being here. Those of you that are just tuning in, or if you come in after the fact, we thank you anyway for being in the midst and clicking on this video and watching this incredible relationship information. How you doing, Coach Pache?
I'm doing well. I have no complaints. How are you?
I'm good today. It's another Tuesday and we're back
Yes,
and
it is.
we're
It is.
rocking and rolling, and I'm excited about what we're going to talk about, chat about tonight. I'm kind of yielding the floor almost totally for you. I mean, you can go ahead and do the thing because I know you have this information to hold back. And so we're excited about it. I know people, let's see, we got Facebook going on and we have YouTube
Okay.
Live.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Facebook, if she'll open up. Trying to open up the page. But anyway, we are here. You know, when you do Facebook and YouTube, Facebook is a delay. So when YouTube is live, then Facebook kind of trails behind it all slow. And then
Okay.
she starts talking about it'll start soon. What they talking about? Coach Pache, they're gonna start
What they
soon. We
talking
already
about? But we started.
we don't know
Right.
already started.
We
And
got
so
two people in here already.
exactly. So while Facebook is trying to load up, let's do a little intro because it is time to raise the bar on Bravo. Here we All right, we're back and we're happy to be back. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited about what we're going to talk about tonight. This is week number 3, I think,
Three.
for us on this road, this journey that we've been taking. This is the 3rd Tuesday in a row that we've been talking about dating with intentions, intentional dating. And we've been talking about some really great things. And I want to just do a recap. So I'm going to kind of throw the ball over to you to do the recap of what we did um, week 1, 2, and we're on 3 so that people can know the points that we've already done and they may go back and look at the videos on week 1 and 2.
Okay. Okay. So, like we said, we're talking about 6 stages of dating. This will be our last week, and we will be discussing the last 2 stages, stages 5 and 6.
Talking about the outline.
So the recap now, week 1, we talked about the attraction when you first meet someone. And at the attraction stage, it's you want to know whether that connection can be developed into something more. And you find out if you're attracted to the person or if you're infatuated with the person. All of that happens within the first stage.
The infatuation and the attraction. Okay. Yeah,
First stage.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Stage 2 is the reality stage, where I just like to say it just got real.
It
Where
just got real. That sounds like
got
a song. That sounds like the title of a song or a t-shirt. It just got real.
So that's where you might begin to see things that work your nerves. And within that, you have to kind of filter out how you're going to deal with those things that annoy you or work your nerves. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the relationship. It just means you have to figure out how you're going to deal with those differences that you see now once you pass the attraction stage. Stage 3 is commitment. And that's when you get past the reality stage. Now you're in a phase where you're ready to be committed to one another. Stage 4, we talked about intimacy, which involves nurturing, connecting beyond the superficial. So at this stage, it's not just about sex. I will repeat that again. Intimacy is more than sex. It's about connecting with somebody mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. That's when you reach another level. So that's what we have discussed in week 1, attraction and reality. Week 2, we discuss commitment and intimacy. And tonight we will be discussing stages 5 and 6. And stage 5 is growth and stability.
One moment before you go there, let's say hello and good evening to our guests. Good
Hello.
evening, Princess K. How are you doing? Good to see you. Glad you stopped by. Thank you for the support, my sister. I appreciate you. All right. So
All right.
let's break down 5 and 6 and let's take it slow. Let's take it slow. Go
Right.
ahead into 5. Go ahead.
So let's go back here.
All
So
right.
5 is growth and stability.
Okay.
So we were attracted, we got the reality stage, we became committed, we passed the intimacy stage. Now we're talking about growth and stability. How are we going to grow together as one?
Okay, can I stop you for a second? We
Absolutely.
passed the intimacy stage. How much intimacy?
How much intimacy?
Yeah,
Well, that
on that step, on that level. How much intimacy? Oh my goodness, Lorraine Reynolds, my dear sister. Thank you for being here, sis. Bless you. Bless you. So yeah, can you go back to what you just said? We passed on stage 4. You said we passed the intimacy stage, involves nurturing, connecting beyond the superficial. Okay, okay, I get that.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because intimacy, when you say that word, it can take you on this whole journey. Hey,
Right.
Mama D Gray. Thank you. That's
Hey.
Deborah. Nice seeing you. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. Those of y'all hit that when you come in. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up as you're coming into the chat. And here we have Jeanette Kendrick. Thank you for being here. Good evening to you. You guys hit your thumbs up for me. All right, go ahead, Coach Pache. Carry on.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Do you girls have your cool beverage? You know you cannot come to Bravo without your cool beverage. I'm drinking kiwi strawberry tonight. The ice. Yeah. Hope you got your cool beverage, hot beverage, whatever you do. All right.
The bravettes and the
The
bravos.
Bravettes are in the house.
And yes, we're waiting for some of the bravos.
No, if they don't come, that's fine. Long as we
But
got
we're
the
not waiting. We'll continue. Right. We're
we
going on.
do.
So, stage 5, growth and stability. This is where you make the choice to commit to one another. So, it's a choice that you're making
On stage 5.
on stage 5.
And those of you that just tuned in, this is intentional dating. Intentional dating. This is for the third, this is our third week of talking about dating with intention. Princess K says, these are very awesome points, both for singles and those in partnerships. We can all learn something here in the process of creating more successful relationships with a strong foundation. Yes, Princess. Awesome. That was a great comment. Thank you so much for that. So yes, this is dating with intention, or like she's saying, take the nuggets and place them where you are in your life with your partners. Okay, Coach, go ahead.
So then we have committed to working together. That could be planning a fruitful relationship or a fruitful future. That can entail if you want kids or not. So you grow if we talk about those things. We want kids. We want 2 kids. We want 1 child. Those are the things we begin to talk about in the growth and stability stage.
How do we want to live? If you're talking about really the commitment part, now you got to really put the plan out there. You got to put the plan right in front of the 2 people and say, okay, this is what because when you come together with someone, you grew up or you in a certain culture or somewhere, you had your own desire and thoughts about what marriage looks like to you, or a serious relationship looks like to you, and maybe totally opposite to what he has been waiting. Not totally opposite, because at this point you have some things in common, but now this is where the rubber meets the road, right? This is where, okay, we're getting serious. Are we going to have 1 bank account, 2 bank accounts, 3, a spare one together? All of those things. Where do you want to live? Well, I never wanted to stay here in New York. I want to go to Cali. All of those things you got to talk out in the beginning on this stage, because then it gets real muddy if you don't have that convo, right, Coach?
Absolutely, because you don't want to wait till you get down the line and it's like, well, even if you get to the walking down the aisle stage and you haven't had these conversations about how many kids you want or where you want to live.
That should never happen.
Right. And most importantly, going back to what you were referring to, 2 people meeting from different cultures.
Yep.
that's a shocker within itself, because I'm used to doing something a certain way and he may be used to doing something a specific way.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now we made this decision to be committed. So
yeah,
now we have to figure out, where do we meet in the middle? How
yeah.
do we balance this thing?
Absolutely. And I have a friend who married outside of our culture, and she married a Caucasian guy. And I ask questions because the way we're wired, our history, our culture is so different, just like his is. And so I asked her, how was that merging? Like, how did that happen? Because I can't see marrying somebody out the culture if they don't know about our culture, because how will they relate on certain levels about what we're used to or what we're accustomed to? And she said, what you're talking about, they discussed certain things. She educated him about things that he had no clue about. He heard about all the myths about people of color. So they took time to really travel through each other's lives so that they didn't come into some clashing within the relationship or the marriage, which I thought was awesome for them to do, because that right there, cultures and race, two different streets, two different dynamics.
But what was awesome within that, they knew who they were and they knew they were coming from two different backgrounds.
Right.
We didn't just think they can float on love and love would get us through everything.
Exactly. The acceptance of the differences, the diverse culture diversity has to play a role.
Yes. And they
Mhm.
both were self aware and they knew they had to have that tough conversation.
And it was a tough one.
Absolutely. I can remember, not in a relationship, but I had a boss ask me before. He was Caucasian. We got along well, and it was things he just didn't understand. And he was like,
Mm.
no, because such and such. But then he would come and say, well, Pache, let me ask you something. And once I enlightened him, he understood.
Yeah,
So it's all about having a conversation.
the
Again, we're back at
conversation,
self-awareness and communication,
the communication for real. Exactly. Exactly.
and then also work together as a solid partnership.
Yes,
Keep in mind that it's a we now and not an I.
that's important. Because after you come from after being single,
Yes,
you're in an I world,
absolutely.
intentionally and on purpose, because it's been I. It's never been we in a long time. And so that's another thing that both men and women coming from the I place of living have to learn now to incorporate. Wait, they got to correct yourself. We, you got to correct yourself. And,
Absolutely.
yeah, and you got to be able to compromise some things, right? Again, and this where it comes in deal breakers and stuff, the conversation. What's
Right.
important to you? Mm-hmm.
And even from that stage, as a partnership, coming from an I, it can be very challenging once you've been by yourself for so long. And like you stated, you've been doing everything on your own, and it's an I and it's an I. And in the beginning of the relationship, I think that needs to be discussed so your partner doesn't take it personal.
It has to be discussed
In the
because
very
it'll appear
beginning,
selfish.
listen,
It'll appear like you're
right?
being selfish
Absolutely. So that's something that needs to come up not even at this stage, in the earlier
in the
stages.
earlier stage, right? Because somebody
Yes.
like me, set in my ways, you
Because
know,
right.
not even set, locked. I'm
Hmm.
locked in my ways. So there'd have to be a screwdriver to unscrew me a little bit.
Because this might come up in the reality stage where it gets
Yes,
real,
yes.
because you're not now it's the reality stage, and that he be like, now wait a minute, I thought we decided to, and it's okay, I really don't need you to take this personal, and you have the conversation.
Because there's certain things you don't want to give up.
Oh, absolutely not.
But then when you take on a partner, especially if you get married, that's where you have to shed things that you think you might have to hold on to, but you really don't need it. It's just been a comfort to you while you were single.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah,
no, and there could be a filler.
I
Why
hear you, Lorraine. Yes.
me too? Because I think as singles, I can say we have those fillers that fills that void.
You need them.
You pick up habits. You do things like, okay, well, now I'm gonna do me.
It keeps you sane.
Right. It keeps you sane. So you can't operate out of the I'm gonna do me like there's nobody else there.
True.
Because the other
True.
person's gonna be looking like, well, if you're doing you, why am I here?
True.
We
You
said
need patience though. I think that
right.
the patience has to, there has to be a level of patience for someone getting involved. That's why you have to know who you're talking to. And it
Hello.
takes a level of patience to get somebody to feel like they trust you enough for you to take these layers off of me, because trust is a big thing when you've been by yourself a long time and been single, and now you're merging into somebody else's life. That's where the trust thing, you can really measure how much you trust or if your trust has been tampered with, because now you're asking me to give up something that was a comfort to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can see that. And then even in dating, we know that there's givers, there's takers.
Oh yeah.
So that even comes into to play when you're trusting somebody.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to figure out, okay, how much do I trust him? Is he a
Can
giver?
I trust
Is
you
he
with
a giver?
me?
Right. Can I trust you with me?
Me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So then um stage 6, love and
Okay.
enrichment. So now we're moving on and we are just in blitz at some
Mm.
point,
Okay.
right? So at stage 6, love and enrichment, make the choice to commit to one another as a team. Again, it goes back to that it's not I, we are a team. I actually noticed, I noticed older couple, or should I say elderly? Well, a couple with wisdom,
No, you could say seasoned.
seasoned, a
Yes, not
seasoned
seasoned
couple.
citizen, but seasoned.
Seasoned. They've been together over 20 something years. And I love sitting around seasoned couples because you get
Yeah,
to learn. And one
absolutely.
thing she said was, we can have an argument on our way to church, but when we get in church, nobody would have ever known it because they operated as a team. That was their system. So
Yeah, you
we,
got a lot of folks arguing in the car, right, to get to the door to
yeah,
the church. A
right,
lot of folks be in the car going to church having a good old argument, but you
going off.
going off. But then you saying that they get it together before they even carry it into the space they're going into.
Absolutely. They get it together and then they work it out when they get back home. But let's not take this negative energy or what we're going through and tamper the environment or the atmosphere where we're going.
Absolutely. Princess K say, I love sitting around seasoned couples as well. There's so much to take in. I'm
Yes.
telling you, it's a
Yes.
wonderful thing, especially like our family, all of our elders are gone. I'm the oldest of the family now, right? Besides Uncle Jack, who is in Philly, and he turned 102 in
Hmm.
February. But in terms of our group, and so we don't have elders, and it's missed. It really is missed. And I find myself when I'm around older people and I'm around people's grandmothers and great aunts, and when I'm in a family or at an event and their family is big with all these different aunts and uncles, I find myself finding someone that's seasoned, right, or get that wisdom and chat. It's hard to not have go-to people with the wisdom like above you in terms of age and knowledge.
Right. It is because we live in a totally, totally different world with these millennials, and that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
They live by their own rules. So
Yeah,
but it is difficult not having elders in the family
it is. It
to get
is.
those jewels and glean from. Because
Oh,
Aunt Mary used to drop them.
she used to give us jewels. She used to give us jewels all the time. That's so true. So I always
Yeah,
tell people you should feel blessed if you have your mom or your dad. You should feel blessed if you have aunts and uncles, and even if you're not talking to them, whatever, just be blessed that they're still on, in the land of the living, that you have
right,
people in your family. Our family, we have a lot of young people in our family now, a lot of babies, a lot of mostly with top heavy with females. So, it's different when you have a unit of family. My friend Lorene that's on, Evangelist Lorene that's on now, She and her family are like so tight. I mean, they do everything together. I mean, they stay together. They have parties, everything they do together in her house in Jersey, and they share it. They put it out on social media, how they really perform as a family. Really, really incredible family, how they come together. And I mean, it'd be a crew of them. What did
Nice.
she said? I love elders when I love the elders even when I was a child. Yes, 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 yes. So
One
I
thing,
always tell people to be grateful if you have family, if you have people who are older than you, people you can go to and just get some wisdom and hear those stories. They've lived through so many,
mhm.
seasons of life.
And just before we move on, I want to Princess K. One of the best things I learned was when I asked an elderly married 43 years if an elder married 43 years, if love was the reason why she stayed married.
Mm,
She said, "Honey, love had nothing to do with it. We made a commitment."
wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Bravo. Bravo.
right.
Bravo. I mean, because she's not saying she didn't go through whatever. She's saying the commitment kept me there. The
Right.
glue, the words, the vows kept me in the marriage.
Yeah,
Because
and
marriage is not easy. I mean, I've been married, so I know I like being married. It's not like I don't like being married, and it's not easy at all. Let's see. Let's see. I think Princess K said this too. Go ahead and read it, Coach.
yes, praise God for family, especially family and elders that are teaching standards of morality, integrity. No one is perfect, but it makes an effort to be a person without
But
a
to
guilt,
make a F,
but to make an effort to be a person without a guilty heart is noted.
mm. Boy, you dropping these jewels, Princess K.
Yeah.
You dropping these jewels tonight. Lorene says,
I say
amen
amen
to
to
that.
that.
Yes.
So
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
So what I found interesting was in doing the research and looking at different stages and looking at different information, I found that if you notice in group 5, growth and stability, committed to working together, plan a fruitful future, and in stage 6, love and enrichment, committed to working together, plan a fruitful future with children. Well, could be with children like we discussed. And I found that interesting because it goes back to Princess K's comment. And what
Mhm.
word is there that stands out? Committed.
Yes. Yes.
To be committed.
Committed commitment. Yes.
That's such a strong word.
It is. It is. That's why you got to be it's so important that when you're dating, that you just don't marry somebody because you've been dating them a long time and you said you were going to get married. If you find a bunch of red flags, you can't go through embarrassment of family and friends and people. You can't let that get in your head. If you realize that, you know what, I don't think we should move forward in this marriage, being married, because, people put pressure on you, especially in the church, you know, when, in the church, you date to marry. That's like the code for believers. You date to marry. But what happens again if the person you're dating happens to be, because I'm sorry, they got jerks in the church too, right? And so just because somebody accepted Christ and they say they a believer, don't say that they did the character work. The character has to be built up. Your character has to speak volumes. The fruit of the spirit, the fruit has to be speaking and yelling, especially to a woman who is a believer. That's important, because if you're spiritual, you need a man who can water that spirit, who can bring. But just because you're in church
Right.
doesn't mean that that's the one, right?
Right.
So you can't listen to voices. So I know a couple of people who really got trapped off like that because they had started dating somebody in the church and she thought it would go, but then she started seeing the real person. Like you say, the representative disappeared.
Right.
She met the representative, but he disappeared. And so she had to just go ahead and stand her ground and not marry. And then my other friend went ahead and married, but they wound up getting divorced because she saw all the red flags,
Right.
just because the people were in her ear and in her head.
Okay. And which is understandable.
So dating is a serious, serious time if you're talking about going towards marriage.
And even in that, realizing that that person that you are committed to, the rules that you guys make for yourself, it applies to you, not society rules.
Right.
You make up the rules for your relationship.
For your
Nobody
home.
else does.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't allow society, it should be done this way, it should be done that way. No, because only you two know what works for you two.
Not just society, family,
Family, yeah. We
friends.
at this
We
stage,
take it
right?
over for society and put it straight to the people that's close in our circle that want to give us advice or, tell us what we should do and how we should do it or why we shouldn't. It's something you have to live with. It's decisions that
Absolutely.
you have to make for yourself. Those of you who just coming in, please hit that like button for me. Go ahead,
So
coach.
the next one would be trials to overcome. So at the love and enrichment stage, there will be trials. Any
Mm.
relationship, there will be peaks and valleys. Everything is not always Krispy Kreme.
Hi,
Everything,
Ine. Thanks
I
for being here, Ine.
it's not gonna always be, you know, rose. We're walking on rose petals.
Well, it
Perfect
never,
example
yeah,
of what I just said. The
yeah,
the elder couple, the elderly couple, was the seasoned couple
yeah,
that was married.
yeah.
They set the rules. We can go at it and have a disagreement, but when we get in public, we're gonna leave this issue over here until we can get back home and discuss it.
Or it goes to
But
what
in
Princess
public,
K said. Princess K said the woman that was married 43 years, that's married 43 years. And she asked her about being in love all that time. If you find that comment, you could put it back up. And she's like, no, she's not even going to tell her any fabricated story. She's saying it was commitment
right, that kept them together.
that kept them together, right? Being committed to each other,
Absolutely.
which is not an easy road.
It's huge.
Yeah, because see, you come together with another person, you have your own identity. And a lot
Yes.
of times in marriage, you don't want to lose your identity, but you want to find a creative way for two people to merge their lives where each person still can have that freedom to be who they are, how God wired them, right?
Hmm.
But sometimes, and because I counsel women so much, I get every kind of story. Sometimes men try to just reconstruct the whole woman, like really just reconstruct. And I'm not saying to, me, take the jewels, leave the junk.
Hmm.
But in dating, that's why I'm so glad we've been talking about this for the last 3 weeks, because this is a serious time for you to figure out, is this person I've been dating good for me to go forward with? Have we done these steps? Let's go back and rewind the tape. Let's go back to step 2, because we skipped over that. Don't skip over the steps.
Right. So even when the trials and tribulations, whatever you're going through at the love and enrichment stage, learn to apologize and forgive. At some point, and even if this is the person you care about, it should be easy to apologize.
Yeah, I think it's easier when there's a friendship as a foundation. A lot of times we skip over the friendship foundation and we go straight into the fun part of dating or whatever. But building a friendship gives any relationship a solid ground, because think about it. Even with your friends, you're not going to hurt their feelings.
Right.
You're going to talk to them. You're going to share with them. You're not going to come out and say stuff that's going to offend them, because you're friends. And a lot of times people don't get the friendship piece in a relationship. Be friends first. And that will
Absolutely.
carry you, that'll carry you through.
Yeah, because it gives you a foundation. And when you do hit those trials or
That you're
those
talking
bumps in the
about.
road,
Right.
like, okay, you sit back and no, this is my friend.
Right.
We can have the adult conversation.
Right.
Because again, like, I don't want to hurt my friend, and I'm quite sure
Right.
my friend doesn't want to hurt me.
Exactly.
Shutting down doesn't help the situation.
Yes.
The conversation does, because actually silence and ignoring someone hurts more than words.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because
And
now
have you ever been in a relationship? I know I have, where you've shared some. This is where women's trust are chipped away sometimes, and we don't know it until we have to step into a relationship. And we're like, whoa, I need to fix that part of me, because you don't really know certain things are going on. But I've gone through situations where I've had men jealous of me, jealous of me. And when you see your mate is jealous of you, that's a terrible feeling. No, it's
Hello.
really, really a terrible feeling. And where you have shared something from the true part of your heart, the profound part of your heart, you shared it with this person that you sleep with, you lay with, you trust. And then in a heated argument or whatever, they dig into that bag and pull out what you trusted them with
Woo,
and put it
baby.
in your face. That's rough. That's rough territory. You said cut right off. I don't play that. If I share with you, and you're going to use that against me.
Yeah.
Princess
Yeah.
K. I've noticed some create idealizations of a perfect man / woman and fall in love with them, not with the real person, as no one can perfectly fit those perfect standards. When
Right.
reality hits, it knocks them down.
And what I say to that is to
Oh,
couples and people that's dating, there's no perfect person, but there's the perfect person for you, which
yeah.
means you have to take all of them.
Take all of them. Right.
All
What
of them.
will you
Not part of
compromise?
them.
What will you compromise? What won't you compromise? Right.
Right. The
Because I don't know,
boundaries.
women in the chat, do you have like a list where there are some things that you won't compromise? Are there some things that, I mean, because I know you have to be able to tweak it and mesh and change, but are there some things you hold true to yourself that you will not compromise?
I know one for me while they're writing or will write. One of mine is smoking.
Oh, you won't date a man that
Cigarettes
smokes.
is nope.
Okay. Okay. Well, what
Nope.
about if he says he'll stop smoking? Will you help him stop smoking?
If
Would you
he's
wait
really
to see if he will try to stop smoking? I'm
within a
saying,
time within a time frame, if he's worth it. But for me, I would have to even get to that point because it's like, oh, you smoke? I smell the cigarettes. Oh,
well, that bothers you, right? That's something you don't like.
but if
Yeah.
it's a couple of dates and he hasn't smoked around me and has kept that part away, and it's like, okay, we are
He's
moving forward
trying.
in a reality stage, and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, if he was able, if he knew that was something I didn't like, and he knew not to do it around me, and he was trying,
He
and
made
now
an
he's
effort.
sharing it, right?
Yeah,
So that's a difference there.
right. And that's what the compromise is, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
where that comes in, that I'm trying. This is a habit. I've been smoking 15 years, but I want to be with you and I'm going to
Right.
do my best to stop smoking. And right. And then you jump in and say, okay, well, let's just buy 1 pack a week and let me hold them. And here's 2 and then help wean him off. Because, it's addiction
It's
and
an addiction.
nicotine.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So moving on, the last one is
And Lorene, wait a minute. We waited
yes,
for some.
Lorene.
Lorene says, poor hygiene. Hey,
Yes.
yes, 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 and yes. We snap, 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 bravo, 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 boom, boom, boom. Right? Because you shouldn't have to tell a grown man how to stay clean or be clean.
And we're not gonna do funk.
Well, that's what she means by hygiene.
I know. I'm just, we just not gonna do
That's
that.
what she means by hygiene.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. That's one. That's one. Because we
Yeah.
all have we all have things that that are important to us. I don't know a woman that don't have her own little checklist of things she won't compromise or things, deal breakers. Everybody have their different list of deal breakers. Or I ask women all the time, if you're
Boundaries.
dating, do you have a list? Even the young girls in our family, I'll be like, okay, what's his name? I need to see him because I need to check the list. And they be like, oh my God, Auntie Sheila, that's uh-huh. You gotta have, yeah. You gotta see what he's working with. What do you have to have something that complements you that you want. You're not supposed to just throw everything away just because you're
Right.
dating someone because you're hungry for a man. I know women to be like, oh my God, I ain't had this one gets me. I haven't had a warm body in my bed for a long time. I'll be like,
Get a couple of pillows. You'll be all right. You'll heat them up yourself.
I'm just saying that, these are things that women struggle with because they're used
Yeah.
to having a man. They think they need a man next to them, but you can't. I mean, it's wonderful if that's you in your life, but you can't just settle for any man just to have somebody. You know what I mean? It's like it can't just be anyone just to have a man in your bed. Some women, no vision. Yes. No vision's another one. Yes. Bring it, evangelist. He has to have vision. The man has to have vision. Where are we going? Where are we headed? I'm just saying,
And the
after
woman
being
has to
single,
have a vision for what she wants as well.
well,
To
absolutely,
attract,
it's
yeah.
it's a give and take.
Hmm.
It's like complimenting each other. And like I said, some things you could check off your list. Some things you can like, okay, I can live without that. Because he's a good dude. He's a good guy. I can live without that. Yeah, that don't mean too much to me. But to give up your whole being, and you top me. You top me, sis.
Haven't had a man in 26 years.
You top me.
But I get what you're
And
saying
I
because,
get it. I
yeah, I
get
had a
it.
conversation with a guy and he was asking me as far as marriage. So I was like, no, my older sister's married and my younger sister's married. So he puts this face on. So you're the only one? I said, I'm the only one and I'm fine with it. Because I
Right.
would rather be single and be happy than be married and be miserable.
Exactly. Princess K says, I am led by my father. My life is centered around him. So have someone actively pursuing a relationship with God to understand that part of me is important. That's what I was saying earlier. You
Hmm.
can't, it's hard for someone who doesn't have a level of loving God to minister. We need women that are believers. We need to be ministered to, right? And it says, follow me as I follow my father. So if you're on the train, he's on the front of the train and I'm behind him and the kids is on the track with me. Where's he going? Do he know who I am and what God
Right.
called me to be? Because in studies, and it's this program where, when I taught that Purity with Purpose course, the Holy Spirit, we're a paraclete as a woman, called alongside of a man, just like the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is a paraclete. We're called, the Holy Spirit is alongside. He covers us. He's there. And that's how God called us as women, to be alongside a man, to be a helpmeet to the man. So how are you going to be able to date someone who really don't have a clue who you are spiritually? And the natural, that's one thing, but you can't just, if you're really a believer, you can't omit that part, right? It's not saying someone has to be on the level that I'm on spiritually, right? Because that's not cool for me to say, well, if you haven't been walking with God as long as me, and I no. It's try the spirit by the spirit, and if he has the fruit, if he's willing. So
Mm.
that's important. That's so important, to not lay down things that's important to you just to have a man in your life.
And then the last one will be work together as a solid partnership, as in stage 5. And at this stage in love and enrichment, this is finding something that you guys like to do together. Community outreach.
Mm-hmm.
It can be anything, but it's something that you have come together to do as one. Still not losing yourself and your identity, like you were
Right.
just talking about. But
Right.
this is something that you plan to do. You can find a shelter that you like to go and cook, whatever that thing is that you guys have agreed on. You do
Yeah.
that as a partnership.
Or what I like, guys like girls that can sit and watch basketball, right? Someone would have sit there and sat and watched the basketball game, the playoffs. They may not even like basketball, but they're compromised because their husband or their man, this
Right.
is something important to him. So I'm gonna watch it with him. Certain things like that, like he might want to go fishing. She might like, oh, I ain't touching no stinky fish. But because she cares about him and know that he loves to do that, she'll try it. She'll go
Right.
along. That means a lot when a man see a woman doing something that he knows that she really doesn't like, but because she cares about him and he wants her company, she goes. So
Right.
whatever it is, like you said, bowling or horseback riding or going to I like museums. I even like going to operas. I mean, so it's certain things. It's a give and take. You're
Yeah.
right. Learn to do that. The solid partnership it's a lot of work.
And still being able to realize that you're an individual and you're not giving up who you are. But this
Exactly.
is something that is strengthening your relationship with your partner. And this
Exactly.
is something y'all taking time to do together. And this is outside of date night. Because date night, that's you're being intimate, you're having fun. It's a charity, it's giving to a church or whatever that thing is that you guys come together to do.
Right.
That's what you need to keep doing.
And you need to always keep
Right.
date night.
No,
I
and that's what
always
I'm
say
right say. Don't
date
let it
night, you
override.
can't compromise date night.
Right.
That can't be tampered with. That has to stay on the calendar.
And that's what I'm saying. Don't let this override date.
Override. Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
something outside of date.
Absolutely. Princess K, we battle between flesh and spirit. I would rather focus on God and let him cultivate a strategic mind in me, not letting my right hand know what the left is doing. We got to be strategic and we got to let God do it. We have to let God do it, because when we get creative and start creating our own situation, and we do battle between flesh and spirit. That's the contending that we go through. The flesh wants to rule the spirit. The flesh wants to shut down the spirit, but the spirit that dwells within us has to stand up and be king. He has to rule. He has to rule. Deborah says, 45 years together, and communication plays a big part to making a relationship work. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I remember when Deb met her husband Leslie. I remember that clearly. Hold on, who said that? Oh, yes, date night is very important. Getting dressed.
Yes.
Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, I remember Deb met Leslie all those years ago. And I was like, wow. When she said they would get married, I was like, really? But see, Deb was a homemaker. She's got that homemaker touch on her. You know, every woman don't have that, right? She got that home, you know, she cooked the meals on Sunday. She, you know, she's washing and cleaning. She's got that innate thing. All women don't have that. Some women got to put that in, that extra touch on, right? But Deb, let me tell you, and her and Leslie are still together this day.
Yes.
That's a long time. That's a long time.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. It is awesome. Go
Gotta
ahead.
have her back and have some tips.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we can bring some women up on the platform with us maybe
That's
next
been
Tuesday
married. Yeah.
to
All those
chat about the
years.
different relationships and how they kept the glue and kept it together. You know, we can do that. We can open up the
Absolutely.
platform. Go ahead, coach.
So here's some dating solutions, and some we talked about in the very beginning from week 1 up until now. So I decided to just put them up there again. So solution 1, self-awareness. Who are you? You must know who you are before you begin to even think about dating.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't know who you are,
True.
how can you teach somebody how to treat you? You don't even know what you're looking for because you don't know who you are.
True.
So the next question is, do you carry emotional baggage?
Well, I think everyone's guilty of that. Is how much emotional baggage are you carrying?
And how do you deal with it?
Yeah. Because I mean, if you got a
And
5-piece luggage, you got some work to do. But if you had a 5-piece luggage and you're down to a little cosmetic box, little cute
yeah,
little bag, that means you done some work.
and the question really is, do you know you have emotional baggage? So do you carry it?
Mm,
So after the self-awareness, sit down and reevaluate who you are.
mm-hmm.
Figure that out.
Hold on. We got a nice little comment here. Lorene says, I've been married for 52 years. We separated, but never divorced. I know
Wow.
her husband and her. I remember them in the heyday. I remember. Yes. And I see they still do family outings together. I tell you, her house be on. I be like, I want to go because they be having so much fun. Congratulations to 52 years.
Yeah. So the next one, do you know what you want in a mate?
Mm-hmm.
Do you even know what you're looking for? It goes back to having that list.
Right. Do you know what you want?
Because
Because because what you wanted when you were 30 may not still be what you want when you 50 or 60.
absolutely,
Your
you
lens change, your whole everything changes. You may compromise more
you
as
should have
you get
evolved
older.
at some point
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at that stage in the game. And
Yes.
that's when
Hello, my sister. Hi, M. Mills. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
so the next one would be, what are your boundaries?
Thank you,
She
Lorraine.
said you're always welcome.
Yes.
What are your boundaries?
What are your boundaries? There got to be boundaries. There have to be boundaries.
What you will
Boundaries are important.
what you will not accept. And
Well,
again, boundaries are to protect you, not the person.
yeah, but see, I knew back in the day. I remember I didn't have boundaries set the way I should have because of my personality, because I'm a helper, because I'm just a free, open person, because I love people. You know, all those things factor into your behavior and also how you
Absolutely.
were raised, right? And so I paid a pretty price before I
Mhm.
learned boundaries. And because I was trying to figure out what is that thing where you said, "Who are you?" Right? I had to figure out what is that thing that causes me to get into these situations when I got my mind is right, I got a good job, I'm singing, I'm traveling, I'm put together, all of that. But that 5 or 10% that was
Right.
off, that 5 or 10% can do damage. And I really had to learn boundaries. And when the light bulb went off, when I was like, I was in counseling. He says, "You need boundaries." I said, "Oh, that's what I need." So I had to learn how to say no.
Right.
I had to learn how to say, "I'm sorry, not today," but no, I'm sorry. No, not today. Instead of,
Mhm.
"Yes, I'll come do this." And especially with the church back then, they had me singing everywhere, abusing the gift, had me here, there, everywhere, just abusing the gift. Not everyone, but I've gone through some stuff, right? And so learning how to say no was liberating for me.
And
That's
put
why
a period at it. It's a complete sentence.
say that again.
It's a complete sentence. Put a
Just
period at the
no,
end of
right?
it. Yeah,
Yes, and
with a
it's
period.
healthy. It's a healthy. It's very healthy when you learn how to deny someone else instead of putting yourself on the back burner because you're strong and you can make it and you think you can help. No. So I learned now, and I remember being having really bad sore throats and really sick, and they had me booked to sing here in this church and that church, and I didn't feel good at all. And I would drag myself to go minister and sing. And one day the counselor said to me, "So let me ask you something." I was like, "Yeah." He says, "Well, if you don't show up, Jesus ain't gonna show up for his people." That was like smack, 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 smack. I was like, in other words, God's gonna show up for his people whether you sing or not.
Yep.
So don't let people pressure you to make you feel, that really set me free. And so I began to learn how to say it nicely. "No, I'm sorry, I can't make it tonight. Maybe another time." And I've never taken that. I will never get in a car or a cab and go to a function or anywhere in a room that I know I'm going to be uncomfortable in.
Why should
That's
you?
real. I've done it though. I've done it. I've done it to show up, to not disappoint.
Oh, I know you've done it.
You're my daughter. I've done it. So I'm
And what
saying
would I
that.
say to you?
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
had to
you done
learn that. That was one of the things that was in Sheila that had to be tweaked. It
it.
had
Right.
to be fixed. But I had to sit with myself, as we said, "Who are you?"
Who are you?
Right? And what are you carrying? What are you working with? What do you need? Turn the finger. When I started turning the finger on myself instead of being a finger pointer, like, "No, they such and such." Because again, 10% of a relationship can destroy. The man could be doing everything 90% wrong, right? And you'd be like, "No, it's not me, it's him." But we ain't got 100%. If you walking with 10%, that 10% could collapse the whole relationship depending on what the 10% is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So as a female, we have to figure out, what do I have to change? What is it that needs to be tweaking? How can I take that layer off that I've picked up through my life? Because as you live and you get as old as I am, and even as old as anyone is in this chat, you pick up layers. And all of these things affect your dating life, your dating skills as a woman, especially if you're a single parent, especially if you're working, taking care of the kids, and you've been wounded and someone walked out. It's a whole lot of stuff you got to walk through and work through. So it's
Yes.
important for the solution, the self-awareness. That's major.
Yes. So the other one is solution two, evaluation. How
Hold on,
satis
we got
Yeah.
some comments. It
Okay.
ain't easy. Be true to yourself. First, don't let anyone make you change who you are. Okay. Oh, that's my invitation, my open invitation.
Yes, your open invitation.
Uh-huh. Cheating. She says she can't handle the cheating.
So that's her boundary. I'm with you on that one too.
Yeah. It's hard to recover. But I've heard a lot of people say that if they're married or if something happens and their mate cheats on them, the question is, would you leave or would you try to make it work? A lot of women said they would try to make it work. And I think it's weighed on how much you've invested, how much you've gone through with this person, and why, trying to find out why they cheated, But sometimes women be like, that's it. Nope. Don't want to hear it. You're out.
Right.
That's a biggie right there. The
Yeah,
cheating. Do you stay or
absolutely.
do you walk?
And like I said, I guess it's contingent upon the relationship, what's invested, what's not, what the other person, male or female, has been through,
Yeah.
to say that then I can't do the cheating anymore.
Mm.
Or it can be a various things of reasons why a person can just say, no, I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
Because again, it could go back to the very beginning in the dating stage, and you set that boundary and you tell them, if you cheat, I'm leaving. There's no questions about it. We're not having a
The
discussion.
the dating stage where you said y'all both talk about what's important to you and what's not important, and what are your deal breakers, and
Right.
yeah.
And that's part of one of your boundaries. If you cheat, I'm out.
Well, relationship take a lot of energy.
Child, tell me about
Going on to solution number 2.
it. So it's, how satisfied are you with dating this person? These is questions. Once you start dating, ask yourself these questions. Because one thing I say is, time is the one commodity you can't get back.
That's right.
So why waste it if you're this person you're not really interested in, or this person really doesn't do it for you?
Yeah, Lorene says they used to say 50-50, but it's got to be 100-100, because 50-50, someone is broken. Ah, that'll preach, sis. That will preach. That will preach, sis. Princess K said, yes, cheating is a boundary. Loyalty is very important to me. Me too, sis. Loyalty, dependability, trust, and honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my 4. Yes. Lorene says, I tried it, didn't work. Then there was a baby. Trust broken, big issue.
Oh,
Wow.
I've been there, Lorene. Got you.
Wow. That's a heartbreaker right there.
Because that's a continuous reminder
That's a heartbreaker.
in your face.
Yes. Yeah.
You
Princess
know,
K she's saying, whoo, Lorene, I feel you.
yes,
Yes, that's a big one.
I've been there, Lorene. That's a continuous reminder. So
Yeah.
how do you even come back from it?
How do you come back from that, right? Yeah, that's rough.
Because now there's a walking human being on this earth
That had no,
that had no
nothing
say.
to do with
Right.
being here, but
Yeah.
yeah. And M. Mills is saying that the disrespect and lack of trust, that's major. Absolutely correct. Major, 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 M. Mills.
Yeah.
Mrs. K is saying, and I'm the type of person that even considers a spiritual break. You can cheat in your thoughts before you act.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. This is some serious talk here. This is some serious, because I know women are tired of going around in this cycle, and women that are single, we have to go through so much now before we even do some normal date. Like years ago, it wasn't this deep. It wasn't. Things have changed so much, this new world. And it's a lot. It's a lot. Go ahead.
So next question would be, to what extent does dating this person make you happy? I read that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next one would be, which of your personal needs are being satisfied through dating this person?
When you say personal needs, you mean just your own personal needs, that your own checklist, what's important to you?
Yes.
Like,
yes. What's important to you?
Okay.
It could be something simple as, I'm not dating him if he doesn't open the door for me.
And
That's just an example. That's kind of minute, but to some women it's not, because they haven't been treated as such growing up.
Yeah, we all
So
have our own
that
little.
yeah, that can satisfy need. Like, oh, okay, he came, he opened the door, he put me in, he made sure I was safe before, it was snowing, it was raining, but he made sure I was in the car first. He came and got me
Well,
out.
those are things you notice. Yeah,
But
those are
certain
things
women
you notice.
haven't had that.
Yeah, but that's like
That
kind
can
of
be
early
something.
dating stage, I think, because you can't get this far down. But I get what you're
But that's
saying.
what we're talking about. We're talking about dating. So
Yeah,
you got the satisfaction. How does this person satisfy that need? That
yeah.
personal
Princess
need.
K said physical abuse is also a boundary. Yes, yes, and yes. I'll pray for you on my way out the door. So, sis, I'm with you. Eventually, God is working on me and forgiving. I'm not perfect. Yeah, forgiveness is a rough thing, when you've been wronged, especially by someone you loved or whatever. But the physical abuse, I'm with you. Because my mother always say, if he hit you once, he'll keep hitting you. I know
Yep.
he hit me one time and it's over. No, he's coming back again. Trust. So I'll pray for you on the way out. And God is working. The forgiveness piece is big. And I always try to share that you can't forgive people in your own might. God has to help you with the forgiveness piece, right? You ever had to pray for somebody who wronged you, who betrayed you?
Child.
And you started praying for you was in prayer, and you really in your heart didn't want to pray for that person, and you didn't, and then you keep coming back saying, God, help me. That's where the switch happens. God, help me with this forgiveness. Help me to forgive, because in our natural being, in our own flesh, is very
Hmm.
difficult. So you have to ask the Lord to help me
Right.
to forgive. So you keep praying, and next thing you know, down the
And that,
line, you're in prayer, and next to you praying easy for that person because you got the breakthrough. But it has to be a conscious desire that you want to, because hard to do it on your own. Let's look what M. Mills is saying. Verbal abuse is hard to get over too. It sure is, sis. It is rough. It is. Those words stay in your head. And Nay says, I want him to treat me well, even when he's not liking me so much. I want to be a place of inspiration and peace for him. If I'm not that to him, a relationship is not a good idea for either of us. Right. Peace. I'm one. Don't rattle my peace. Don't
mm,
tamper with Sheila's peace. She says, yes. Princess K says, yes, M. Mills. Sometimes words can hurt more than fists. Fists can bruise your skin, but words with malice can break your spirit. There's life and death on the tongue. Yes. Whoo,
mm.
this is some heavy stuff, and it's so true. Lorene says, that's me. I don't know which one she was saying that to. Oh, she's saying that maybe to what Ine was saying.
Okay. So the last one, which should be solution 3, was the bucket filler we talked about, I believe,
Yeah,
in week 2.
the
We
bucket filler.
Yeah, the bucket filler. Just get a bucket filler. And the bucket filler is you fill a bucket with what you want. It's about being kind and thoughtful. The bucket filler also is an individual whose words and actions increase positive emotions in others. A bucket filler shows patience, tolerance, and kindness. So basically, there's an empty bucket, and you put kind words in there. I
Mm-hmm.
love you. I appreciate you. And
Mm-hmm.
both parties contribute to that bucket. So when you're in need, you can withdraw from that bucket, but you must put something in there. You cannot make a withdrawal if you haven't made a deposit.
So this is a conscious bucket. This is a conscious thing. Like you can have some stickies and you can write in, I'm
Yep.
putting love in this bucket, and you drop it and go about your business. You come back and somebody, you might want to pick out the bucket and something sweet and nice is in there that can kind
Yes.
of, that I like that. I like the bucket. I like that. And I used to do the sticky things, put stickies around,
Mm-hmm.
Post-its, surprise Post-its and stuff like that, which really helps. You got to be creative, right? In a
Right.
relationship, you can't just get complacent, because the creativity is what really draws you to each other on both sides, on both ends. Let's see what some of the comments says. M. Mill says, we need to forgive for us to heal and move on with our, that is correct. That is correct. The healing process. And if you've been done in, my mother said they do you in, you still have to lay before the Lord and ask, help me, Lord, help me, forgive this person. because it's hard to forgive, but through Christ, you can. Through Christ, you can do all things, and you have the ability to go to Him and get every single thing that you need, every single thing that you need. And then Lorraine says, forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness. Hmm. It's important for us to have these tools and the resources to be able to share, to be able to go through what we need to go through. But at the same time, don't collect more garbage, more baggage. Don't allow anything to come in to violate your space in your in your heart. I always say guard your heart, right? You can't allow anything to come in that's going to contaminate the spirit that's within you or your heart. You have to guard your heart. You have to learn how to say no. You know, the end of sentence you say, Coach, no is a whole sentence, a whole
Period. Put a
sentence.
period behind it.
Put a period behind it. No, you got a soft no and a hard no, right? And sometimes it's available. But what I'm saying, you know, dating is something that is different today. It's a different world. A lot of dating is done not organically like it used to be. Those of you who are here, I see 8 people right here. I hope you all hit that thumbs up for me. Dating is different. And I'm saluting you back, my dear brother. Salute to Bravo. You are giving facts and greetings to Coach Pache. Thank you so much, Bola. I truly
Hello.
appreciate your presence being here. That's the gentleman I told you about that's on every morning reading the word. So he comes on 6:45,
Amen.
sometimes 7, but very good. Got to get you on one morning. But yeah, so guarding your heart is so very, very important for us to do. When you guard your heart, you push back anything that will contaminate God's space, because God's space is the space that we have to protect, right? And I know everyone is not a believer, but even if you're not a believer, you still have to guard your heart. And you know, we have to understand that dating is different now. It's just totally different. Everyone is saying, "Oh, I can't find a man. You know, I don't like dating apps." People get what do you call it? Catfished and all these things you got to learn about. It's like it's become too much, too much, too much. And so I just say, you ladies, just keep, you know, teaching yourself, keep going to the Father, waiting on God, because I always say what I'm looking for is looking for me. It's got to meet up, right? The same thing I'm looking for is looking for me. So I will not short circuit myself. I'll wait for
Right.
God to just release it. A lot of times, women, you got to leave the men in the oven. They're not done yet. Don't take them out that oven. You still got to baste them a little bit. Pull that tray out, put some basting, put them back in. Don't
Some of
take
them you just gotta put them in the crock pot. Let
put
them
them. Oh no,
simmer.
we don't want them in the crock pot. Then they get done too quick and they miss all the steps. They have to stay in the oven. Right. A lot
Okay.
of times women be pulling the guys, oh, he's this, he's that. Just take them out too soon. Don't take them out too soon. Just leave them in there for a while.
Okay.
What you say, Coach Pache?
Then when you stick a fork in him, then you know he's done.
Yeah, you know he's done. That may take longer for some than the others. You just got to know.
Yeah. And for these steps, there's absolutely no time frames
Right.
on them. You
There's
will
no,
know when you know. There's no time frame.
and Lorene, my dear friend, with Yahweh, the blessings will run you down. Ooh, Lorene. Yes, evangelist, they will run you down. Let's see. Inez says, y'all keep me in your prayers for discernment when I open myself to being courted. Yes, my sister. Where's my box? I see this box right here. This is my box, my prayer box. And I got a lot of folks in here, a lot of folks in here. And I will put your name in here in my morning time, prayer and whatever. And that's the special box where I lift it up. People who are dealing with illnesses and cancers and stuff, I'll be breaking and binding stuff in the spirit. I'll be trying to shut down the portals of the enemy, going hard in intercession. Let me stop. No, but I do. Trying to get them breakthroughs, getting those breakthroughs. Let's see what Princess K is saying. Go ahead, Coach, read it.
Yes, it's all right to acknowledge that you're still hurt. Don't just say you forgive someone and stifle yourself. You can hide your heart from God. If he accepts you in your good, he accepts your bad.
Mm, now that's good.
And that's the part going back to the commitment and accepting all of the person, not
That's
just
real
part of the
talk.
person.
That's real talk. Keep God in the mix. That's what I say. You keep the Father in the mix. I know, listen, my BC days, dating, and being married before I was a Christian, BC days, listen, it's a different ball game with Christ. I know who I am, and I know what I should have and what I shouldn't have. And I told you, it's like you cannot, as a believer, as a woman, a man in the total 100% natural don't know how to feed a spiritual woman. He don't know how to feed you, right? It's nothing wrong with them. It's just that you're spiritual and he doesn't know how to minister to you. And so we have to be careful and don't settle. Let's see. Princess K say, yes, LOL, put you in my prayer book. Yep. All right. We got you covered, Ine. We got you covered. And Mill says, in the name of Jesus, amen. Oh, I got some. What the Bravettes are hot tonight. The Bravettes is what we are strong over here. Let's see what Ine says. Thank you, at Bravo. I love you guys so very much. I love you guys so much. And I'm so grateful that you guys came on. All of you wonderful queens, all of you women. Facebook, I wasn't ignoring you. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Coach Pache, I'm going to give you the last word, and we're going to see next week. We're going to be doing something next week. I don't even have my calendar in front of me. Talk to the people so I can tell them what's coming down the pipe.
So I just want you guys to keep these solutions in mind when you are dating. You can even pass them on to someone you know who's dating. And I would say one of the things that's key when you start to date and you get back in the dating pool, just know who you are. That's extremely important. Know who you are. You have to know who you are before you proceed in doing anything in life, especially in dating.
Yes,
Because
yes.
if you don't know who you are, you can't set the standard for yourself. You can't set the bar for yourself.
Right.
You can't set boundaries. When you know who you are, you teach people how to treat you.
Right.
So it all
Right.
starts there when you start to date.
Yeah, because you just can't be handled any kind of way, right? You just
Right.
can't be handled any kind of way, And so that's awesome, Coach Pache. So what we have coming for you next week, we'll be back for Relationship Tuesday. We might invite some folks up here with us to chat with us. And then we also have soul ties coming. Negative and positive soul ties coming. That's a conversation. And I know today someone asked me, I think Princess K asked me to talk about losing your hair. Losing your hair. She wants us to talk about that, create a show, that topic. And it's perfect for what we're dealing with now. Anyway, what we've already started. I know tomorrow night we're talking about the Crown Act. The Crown Act, the law that was passed in certain states, where now this is the discrimination against people when they go for jobs or on their jobs. People of color have gone through a lot with locks and hair and stuff. So the Crown Act has been passed. Bravo. And so certain states are catching up with it. And so tomorrow we're having a conversation about that. I have some wonderful people getting ready to come on and talk with us about the Crown Act. And then we're doing I'm doing the etiquette. Etiquette is one of my favorite things to talk about and do. And so we're going to put some PowerPoints up about etiquette, certain things for young people as well as adults. We got a lot of things that we're going to be chatting about. Coach is going to be back on Tuesday. And what else? Oh, and bonds and breaks of sisterhood. That's going to be an incredible panel. Bonds and breaks of sisterhood. Coach Pache and her partner, Dr. Elaine, created a nonprofit organization. They teach women so many different things, but one of the specialties that they do is women that want to become authors or have stories in them. Anyway, they've written 6 books, compilation of different women coming on their platform. And this book that we're going to be talking, and all the women that were part of the book will be on the platform. Breaking Bond. What is it, Coco?
The bonds and breaks of sisterhood.
I called you your nickname.
It's okay. The bonds and breaks of sisterhood.
Of sisterhood. Yes, yes, yes. And let's see what we have here. Take your time to know who you are, know your value so that you can demand your worth and not lawyer. Stay strong in the Lord. Yes, Ine, that's for you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's see. these closing statements. Wow, Mrs. Lorene, I'd love to hear more on that topic from you as a married woman. Some of us don't know how to effectively articulate what we need from our men. Yes, I might try to get her up on the platform with us, Princess. Yes, she knows. She knows. Let me see. Did I miss what Lorene says here? My husband used to ask me what I wanted. I couldn't answer, but now I can answer that. Yeah, we live, we learn, we listen, we all are going through and going through this journey. This was helpful to all of us, to me, myself, and I as well. Those are wonderful topics as well. I'll be tuning in for sure. If I missed the live, I can catch the replay. You guys are so kind to me, and I so appreciate it. I'm still a new kid on the block, but I'm good because you guys are really encouraging me. Oh, wow. Yes, yes, yes. It was awesome. Remember, say that again, Cole.
I'm glad it was helpful.
Yeah, it was
Gave
helpful.
some
You see,
insight to someone. So
abs-
good. That's what it's about.
that's why you do what you
That's
do.
I'm gonna say that's why I do what I do.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you, my daughter. I'm so proud
Thank
of
you.
you. Absolutely, absolutely. So please tune in with us tomorrow. We're talking about the Crown Act, and then we're going. I mean, it's just so much coming, and I just want you guys. And I think, Princess, you told me to build a show around hair loss. Hair loss, yes. And oh, yes, Bowler, you're my brother. You're definitely my brother. Absolutely. You are my brother. And I appreciate your presence. I will be on in the morning as usual. Yeah, you guys have to go over Lorene. If you're up, and I know you're up early, come on YouTube and go to Bolo TV. And we have an incredible time. 6:45 in the morning. It's a great community. We were talking and laughing, and the teaching is awesome. And we're going right now. I think we're in the book of Deuteronomy. Are we, Bolo? I think we're in Deuteronomy. I think we are. Yes, this was very helpful. I have a few who I'm going to send this video to. I love this. Y'all are doing great. God bless both of you for building up the kingdom. Oh, bless you back. Bless you back. And M's, why is this not showing? Are you touching something, Coco?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do. I really needed this positivity. Thank you so much. We love that you're here, sis. We do. And it's not just a cliche of saying it. I really, really definitely feel the love, and we're women and we have to support each other and undergird each other and help heal each other, and just be able to be free and open and let it be a safety zone, where we can just get layers off that we need to get off, right? It's about undressing. It's about we're in Joshua. Oops, I'm a bad student. We're in Joshua. Joshua, thanks, Nate. Yes, Lorraine. Lorraine, come on in the morning. It's so awesome. You're gonna love it. You get addicted to him because Bolo, the wealth of information that's in him, and Lyric, and what's his name? You call him, is it Mike? Yeah, anyway, it's three of them that's there, and they're talking and teaching and sharing, and it's a good thing, and we have a good time. So those of you who have not hit subscribe and like Bolo's TV, please do that before you go off. The book of Joshua. Yes, teacher, I got corrected by Ine. Anthony, I knew it was Anthony T Biz. Yes, he's on teaching. It's really good. You guys need to check it out early in the morning. Y'all know I like to get up early where I don't hear cars and trucks and people talking, and I don't want to hear nobody, just the Holy Spirit and quietness. So it's a great time for me with tuning in. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. Facebook, smooches, thank you so much. Remember that when nothing changes, nothing changes. You know what you got to do? You got to always take that right hand, that left hand, put it on your heart, your mind, and your soul, and give yourself a bravo. A bravo. And before we go, let's see. Big Ant is in the building. All right. All right. And then we have, fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. That is the scripture to go out on. What you think, girls? That's it right there. Bola just hit
That's
us off. That is it right there. That is the scripture. That is the scripture that we need to go out with. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is positive and awesome. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. This was great. Listen, guys, thank you so much. Facebook, thank you so much. See you soon. We'll be on tomorrow, but check us out in the morning on Bolo TV on YouTube. We are gonna be live. Yes, yes, and yes.